Hello, Smite fans, and welcome back. Smite 2 Founder Series continues with more of the Swiss stage, more Week 4, and North America flavored. It's Malum, it's Trelli, and we're back on with more action to go. And Trelli, do you hear that? That's the sound of hundreds of keyboards hitting exclamation point access in the Twitch chat
My
right
goodness, I
now,
hear it.
so they can get into Smite 2. It's insane. All those Cherry MX Reds, that's insane. Get some brown switches, they're a little bit quieter. Exclamation point access gets you the links. The code is on screen. Smite 2 Esports, and that gets you playing Smite 2 today. So don't waste any time and get on in and start playing. Lots of new characters being added. Danzaburo and Hercules, the most recent ones added, and while they're not available in competitive play, you can pop off on them right now. And Trelli, our players, they've been popping off today in EMEA, but North America, it's their time, it's their turn, and I'm expecting a bloodbath.
I mean, that's always the idea here. And at the very least, you got to expect that with a matchup like this, we did not think that Borscht would end up in this position so early on, but they had some tough matchups. And I have to question, is that something that will be affecting their mental? Remember, we've had some qualification matches. This, I believe, is an elimination match. So you take an L here, you drop down into groups, which is not what really anyone wants to do. They want to keep their hopes alive. 3 losses is what you're trying to avoid this time around.
Well, taking a look at the bracket, we can kind of see how Borscht got into this position overall. Because, like you said, it's very surprising. At the very beginning, when we started seeing roster announcements for the Founders Series, I think Borscht was an instant favorite, including a fan favorite, with names we've recognized from a long time in the SPL. You had a jump up like Rat Milk, who everyone was excited to see on a team of that kind of caliber. But now, look at them playing Alec Club, and Alec Club, hee hee ha ha against Final K. Surely that's going to cause some bad blood, right? I mean, Final K has to want to beat them down harder. Alec Club isn't named after Final K, but if I'm Final K, I'm taking it personal. And while we get that heated answer from you, Trelli, to build in the drama, we can also look at the schedule and what we've got going on today.
I really do appreciate the hee hee ha ha. Couldn't tell just how funny it was until you gave me your version of the laugh. But
that's how you lock it down.
Yep, some absolute bangers that we saw yesterday. And today, of course, you can see the starred matches of what we're looking at. Alec Club versus Borscht, and then later into Scrumptious versus Garf's Goblins. We will miss absolutely no bangers here. And that's, as a viewer, you're living the best timeline. The one where we get to see all of this action.
Yeah, Alec Club and Borscht, a fun way to start it off. Of course, Scrumptious and Garf's Goblins. You want to talk about a matchup where you can prove yourself. We've already seen one team prove themselves against Scrumptious in the Swiss bracket. That's why Scrumptious is in these 2-1 matches. So Garf's Goblins, they've got an easy goal, at least in their brains, to accomplish. And Scrumptious, I think they're tired of taking L's to what they might see as, who are these people anyway? I think they just want to lock it down and move forward. So it's a pretty stacked up day.
I don't think anyone's job is easy necessarily, but it's very one track, right? Like, let's just get our dub. Let's beat our opponent who's in front of us. I don't think anyone who's made it this far into the Swiss stage can be considered easy. But with that being said, there's always room for an upset, man. We have been setting the stage for it every single weekend, and this weekend is no different.
Well, it's time for picks and bans for game number 1, which means it's time for Trelli to probably predict the bans and predict the majority of the picks to start things off.
So I'll send
it right to you. There we go. Bam. See? Easy.
Well, I was in the wrong order. Hey, but Baron first. Let's see. Let's see if it's Fenrir. Come on. Give it to me.
Come on.
No! What's the point?
I was so rooting for you. I had all the faith in the world.
What's the point of even going on after this? Oh, well, with that being said, could be Fenrir first pick. Hey, that's not bad. That's pretty much like...
In my brain, we kind of take that.
I'll give myself like a B- for that one. It did seem like Borscht has decided...
degrees. All right.
Bro, grow up. They just swapped dogs on me. I honestly, though, I've been hyping up, and they made me look even more dumb. I've been hyping up this Loki top pick for a while now. I'm glad it's finally getting the respect that it clearly deserves, and that's something that Borscht doesn't want to deal with. Fenrir will be the immediate grab there from Alec Club, and if you let the other dog through, Anubis is going to get swiped up immediately. Has been playing multiple roles. I still like finding your home in the mid lane, but Anubis, you go wherever you see fit. We will see where Borscht tries to land it, followed by the Amaterasu. Surprising that we see her this highly contested, but definitely a good engage, good for objective shred. And if you have Anubis, already looking towards those Gold Furies.
It looked really good in EMEA yesterday, but one thing we haven't seen a lot of yesterday, we didn't see much today, Yamoja, been kind of quiet. on her end of things. I feel like she jumped up instantly. She arrived in SMITE 2. Everybody wanted her. We saw her and Baron kind of be the bans last weekend, and she's fell to the wayside. But you combine it with an Odin, one thing's for sure, you're now controlling which kind of relics that Borscht are picking up.
That's what I love about this Yemoja Odin combo, especially paired with something like Fenrir, because you're pretty much guaranteed that everyone's going to double dip and get a ton of value from Phantom Shell, and then you take advantage of that and grab, you know, no sort of beads, which means if you're not next to the Yemoja or the Odin and they have the actual beads, active item, you're going to be getting value from that Ragnarok every single time. Bacchus, still my favorite of the solo lane picks if he does decide to go over there, but can still pilot and support no problem. Throw the Jing Wei in the mix. Now you've got a disgusting late game. But what do you pick to try and, you know, bridge that gap? Where are you getting that early pressure from? Anubis can bring it a bit, and so can Bacchus, but I'm going to need a little bit more out of the possible jungle selection towards the end.
Well,
Hecate, a character nobody wants to ignore right now. She's kind of been one of... She's falling lower and lower in pick selection in terms of these drafts, but I feel like nobody's forgotten the importance of Hecate right now. Because for a while, we kind of saw you're going either Hecate or Neith. Then it was Hecate or Cuckoo, but Hecate has been always there. She's been the constant. And now combined with a Neith, Alec Hay Club can do two things in my brain. They can cut you off and they can blow you up if you're Borscht.
Definitely can. And like I said, if you're Borscht, you're trying to stop the aggression of things like Odin, like Neith, like Fenrir that don't really need time to get online. They're pretty disgusting early game. And with Fenrir already picked, with Loki banned away, I mean, Susano's definitely at the top of my list, but it looks like this was the other option, Thanatos, who is a bit harder to execute on, no pun intended, but if you are able to land those death sites, can just snowball the game away. So you got to be feeling yourself when you go to this Thanatos pick. And looking at the squishier targets on Alec Hate Club, I mean, Hecate doesn't love it, Neith doesn't love it, right? You should be able to chase down some of those kills using Hovering Death, but like I said, you miss one ability, your fight could be over.
I will say that the Rat Milk, when you get to this kind of caliber of a team, I almost feel like comfort picks go to the wayside, because when you're on a team like Borscht, you've got to fit in with the mold. And a team like Borscht, they're kind of over comfort picks, right? They've got their better picks, sure, but they can just play anything. Back in the day, I would have told you that Thanatos was a top 2 Rat Milk pick. I would think of Susano, Thanatos, and Hoonbots in SMITE 1 from all my experience casting him. So this is a good selection for sure. But more interesting to me might be the health thresholds, because one thing that is advantageous when you're Thanatos Trelly is you've got a lot of health to work with that Alec Hate Club probably will go.
Absolutely. Not to mention the sustain. Healing is a Thanatos' worst nightmare. You go up to the sky, you're like, that dude's blinking. I see a symbol over his head. I'm getting a free kill. Then Yemoja just presses 2, and now you've kind of wasted your ult. So yeah. Anti-heal definitely going to be something that both teams have to worry about. I'm looking at an Anubis for Borscht as well. So probably some Ruinous Ankh, some Brawlers, some Divines, things like that, just to try and spread the love and make sure that, you know, healing does not become too much of an issue for both of these squads. But if we're looking, I see a very clear early game favorite. Oh, this side, very clear early game favorite, and then a very clear late game favorite here for Borscht. And more often than not, just by what I've seen this weekend, late game has won the day. If you get to like a barely even standpoint, or maybe even does like 2,000-3,000 gold behind past 25 minutes, and you've got like a Jing Wei and like an Anubis, something that can do ridiculous damage to tanks and squishies alike, you're gonna have a better time. So Alec Hate Club is really gonna have to bring the pressure early on,
which I find surprising. Alec Hate Club's a team that has a lot to prove in this scenario. They've had some decent ups, they've had a lot of downs, they've had a lot of roster changes. We've seen different mids, we've seen a different solo from Aztec to Losh, we've seen a different carry from TMJ to Mario Bros. They've got so much to prove in this matchup, and to stack the odds against you and to grab up a team that you have to sort of rush to make work, and you have to hit the check marks as you go through. You're not playing the game that Borscht is playing, truly, like you said, where you can basically wait out the game. I know you've said this before, but if no objectives get taken, if no fighting happens, Borscht is completely happy with that, because that's how they want to play. Whereas Alec Hate Club, they've got to get going.
You certainly do. And you know what? I pretty much immediately wrote off, you know, Pagon's going to take the Anubis and Bastion's going to take the Ama, but I've seen Pagon play Ama, and I don't think that's what's coming here. But assuming, of course, that Pagon does just take the Anubis mid and nothing else goofy happens, you got to wonder. And Malin, we've done this before in the past, and I don't think I've ever done it with you. So I'm going to ask you a question here. I already have a lock-in. I have my answer. But if you had to predict first blood with zero information except for P's and B's, who would be getting the first blood and who would it be on?
I have to go with Thanatos getting the first blood and probably on Hecate. I'm looking at the mid lane fight.
Yeah, I was thinking Fenrir onto Anubis. That's I think that Pagon's gonna step too far. That's why I was like, is he gonna be Anubis or is he gonna be Alma?
I was gonna say it depends on the wrap, but if you don't have the wrap, if that fight happens too early, where we all know Thanatos loves to fight with that scythe, then I guess you're probably right, because the wrap's not gonna be up yet, because on Anubis level 2, you're going your 1 you're going your 1 and your 3. You're not grabbing your wrap.
I mean, it all depends on the starts as well. There's a lot of, if you haven't been paying attention to competitive Smite 2 as opposed to your regular like casual rank games, there's a few ways that the jungler can start. You can sit at red buff, do your red buff, do your backs, go and just play passive. You can try to invade the enemy red buff. You can look for red and blue if possible, but more often than not, if you're starting at your own red buff, you have the ability to go and kind of cringe gank mid while the other guy's doing speed. You're in mid lane, and both Hecate and Anubis are relatively easy to find picks on if they don't have Aegis or Blink. If they have beads, that's a kill, right? All you gotta do is hit your spells. If they have Aegis, you gotta use it at the right time. And if they have Blink, good luck. You're just getting their Blink down. But in the meta we are in currently, again, Yemoja, Odin. I got to assume that Anubis has to pick up Phantom Shell here, so that's the reason I was putting a little bit more weight on the Hecate and the Fenrir. Not only that, if you know Fenrir is coming, you can level your 3 and like shield the Fenrir as he's brutalizing, do a lot of damage. They just have abilities to play around a lot in mid, but you know, we'll see. It could just be someone dies before the game even starts, before minions even meet. I was gonna say all
this talk, and we're gonna see Neith die 45 seconds in. She probably dies to like the Bacchus. We both look silly. That's the kind of luck we have.
It's a hard prediction to make. That's kind of the point, though, because anyone can say where the first blood's gonna happen once you see the game play out. I want zero information. And again, apologies as we load into this game. There was a lobby remake. We're getting started, and we will get into it in just a second. But I'm keeping my eyes on the Fenrir. That's all I'm saying, man. At level 2, you have the highest kill potential on the map, in my opinion.
And let's also talk rosters too, because one thing that's stressful that I've been thinking about, Alec Club and Borscht, they're both in that 1-2 part of this bracket. That means you're one loss away from falling to the last chance qualifiers when everyone else feeling like it's been having that nice month off until playoffs. And for Alec Club, they've added now 3 different players throughout this tournament, and Renown making a debut for Alec Club in the mid lane, formerly known as Dago. You're trying to make that happen with a new player in the biggest game of your season up to this point in the Founders Series. You've got Vegas hopes on this is a lot to step into as the new addition to the roster. There's got to be an added level of stress to that.
I would say so, but also I think there's a bit of, I don't know how to describe it, but you're like, hey, I'm not the reason that we're in this situation because I just got here. So I just got to play my own game. If we lose, stinks, but we always have the ability to fight back in groups. Of course, you want to keep your hope alive, but regardless, you kind of just got to vibe through it. You know, looking at a team like Borscht, they have not been playing lights out by any stretch of the imagination. They have been making mistakes. They've been, you know, overstepping as they do sometimes, but they still do have that mechanical skill to back up some of those mistakes. Alec Club, though, they're definitely a squad that, if given the opportunity to punish like an overextension or a sloppy invade or even a Gold Fury pull that just shouldn't be happening, they can definitely make some big adjustments to it. So, you know, Borscht is going to have to bring their A game here, no doubt.
Lots to look at in solo, too. The Baskin versus Losh matchup. And for Losh, could be pretty stressful. You're going up against Baskin, who has all the accolades you could think of, all of the experience you could possibly think of. But I will say, admittedly looking kind of rusty so far in the Founder Series. We haven't seen Baskin truly hit that stride. There's been moments in some team fights in the previous weekends that we've seen where I've looked at it and said, okay, that was very Baskin. I think of a few plays on Bacchus in particular. But at the same time, it's hard to imagine Losh isn't going into this with a little bit of, okay, I'm up against Baskin. I've got to play perfect. I might play for last hits. I don't want to get over aggressive in my laning phase. And I feel like all that stuff can add up. How do you deal with going against a player like that if you're Losh?
Oh, you simply have to say, this is just a level 1 Amaterasu, right? Like, this is not Baskin on level 1 Amaterasu. This is just some dude, you know, like I roll up to lane. I should be out clearing you. I should be getting more pressure. Of course, once Ratmill gets involved, things change a bit. But, you know, just in the 1v1, you just don't let it bother you.
turn off the nameplates and see what you can do. Let's get onto the battleground of the gods and see what both of these teams can do to stay alive and out of those last chance qualifiers. Alec Club is your order side, Borscht your chaos side. It's Malum, Charlie, and of course Doug and Spectate. And I am pretty pumped up for this one. I want to see what Alec Club can do early, and I want to see if Borscht establish themselves even further somehow and just kind of squash down this up-and-coming team.
Well, doesn't seem like we're going to see any scrapping pre-minion spawn. There is definitely a possibility for it, but no real grouping, and spotting out Borscht immediately tells me that we get to dive back. So hey, both of our predictions at this moment still alive. Let's take a look at relics though. Blink for level 100 Behemoth, Blink for Rat Milk, but Panda Cat actually going to be the one playing the Anubis. So a little bit of a switch up there. And if I'm not mistaken, we do have Pagon chilling over in the duo lane. So same sort of prediction for me, but it's going to be Panda Cat getting first blooded. If my prediction was right, of course. This is just, a random occurrence. But switch what I said, just player name, not the actual god and role. That still makes sense to me.
FineOk's dancing in the order side jungle. Purple about to spawn. FineOk will be looking for the steal. Has Sunder online. So you have to feel like it'd be easy if they keep it the buff, but perhaps wisely, Alec Club will stop doing it. See, this is what we talked about. Alec took it personally and is already invading the purple of Alec Club.
And that's good. That's what you gotta try and do. You gotta shut him down early. And I think Bacchus, if you're playing Bacchus with Sunder, you gotta be going for a play like this, because you do lose a little bit of value safety wise, but you should be able to outconfirm just about everyone for one single buff early on, and that is exactly what happens. Rat Milk and level 100 Behemoth both sitting around mid lane, both have red buffs. Unfortunately, Renown is sitting at level 1, which means you don't really want to try to fight until that level 2 comes around. Panda Cat just does so much more damage than a level 1 Akate for the time being. But I do think there's an ability to find a first blood. Chasing in the jungle, not a bad look, but speed buff is up. And it looks like no invade will occur, so just playing defensive for now. But Borscht has just already picked up quite a big lead just for like a minute 30 in. They are owning farm-wise, which starts that up as well. When you get like a Bacchus that's far ahead, that purple buff I think is going to be invaded on cooldown. And if you are Mario Bro, you would love to be able to get that purple buff. This doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
We've seen that a lot so far in the Founder series with the purple buffs in particular, where if you get the timer, we're seeing 3 members constantly go there. The jungles always make their rotation, because if you can get the purple, you set up to also take away the speed. If you win the fight for speed, you can take away back camps and you can really begin a snowball. So watch for those timers and watch for this gank. Level 100 Behemoth looking to help out Losh. Baskin in a lot of trouble down low. First blood for Alec Club.
All right, I got the guy right, just not on to Hoomston. Unfortunately, Mario Bro taking a lot of damage as well. No follow-up here from Pagon. Just retreat, but you get the first blood and you get it on to the Fenrir. Definitely a good member to get it on as well. Probably the best. Fenrir, still an absolute menace if given the opportunity. You don't really have too much freedom to brutalize. In fact, everyone on the map but Pagon has a way to just cancel it out entirely. So Brutalize isn't going to give you too much value unless you just wait for those cooldowns to be down. But once you get access to that ultimate, Ragnarok just opens up so many doors.
Yeah,
here.
It's like you said too, it's the grander scheme of we're trying to see Alec Club speed run to a mid game point and get ahead of Borscht. You don't want to let Borscht get to late game. If you get your Fenrir ahead, you can accomplish that.
And already because you got to kill over in solo lane as well, like you have the ability to try and play through that. Your purple buff got invaded early on. That stinks. Duo side is going to have some problems. But Losh is looking pretty good. Sure, Baskin hit level 5 first, but not too much tank stats already. I'd be looking for a secondary gank here. You do see the Behemoth is nearby, just going for blue buff. But remember, Baskin does have Sunder, so does get caught in the cage and can definitely get picked up by a Ragnarok once you chain those stuns together.
Second time now we've seen the Thanatos lurking towards the left side of the map, but no ganks into duo yet. Pagon low, but Mario Bro doesn't want to step up. There's a knock up, the stun, Asunder too. Rat Milk's here, but does not have that ultimate online. Cannot go for the execute. on a Cosmic Vibes. Instead, purple buff invade right on the timer, as we mentioned. It goes to Borscht. So a TKO of the Emoja, enough for some farm.
Yeah, definitely what I expected. Unfortunate, because you would love to keep that purple buff, you know, on your side. But once you give up one, it's very easy to start letting them happen. And Rat Milk was in the right place at the right time. And again, I do believe that will continue, that trend. So you gotta look to the right, because you have two options as a jungler. Level 100 Behemoth could say, you guys having trouble, I'll go over there and help you out. Or you just play through the lead and you play through solo lane. At the moment, has just been kind of hovering around, waiting to see if there's any action to be had. But I think Rat Milk should not be too frightened. The only issue is you're avoiding mid lane. As a Thanatos, when you're facing Hecate with ult and Aegis, anytime you get close, you fear being sent underneath the tower. So you don't really look there. But the side lanes, you can get to with relative ease. I'm going to keep my eye on Rat Milk. Not really a jungler that likes to get outpaced. And considering the first blood already went the way to the enemy jungler, like, Rat Milk should be trying to get active here soon.
That's why I thought we might see a first blood in mid from the Thanatos. I thought you'd try to rush the Hecate before that ultimate would get online to try to get ahead of things. But not the case. A Ragnarok answered with by a Death Gate. Thanatos in the sky, but no option good enough for Rat Milk, landing right back down on the buff, and they secure it. Borscht not going aggressive, and I will say, a lot to be said about the jungle matchup, which all that thought, ultimate forced out by Baskin. Rat Milk on the way to help out. Remember, no execute online. Baskin low gets away. Losh will be in trouble, but look who's also on the way. That Fenrir, which is enough to dissuade. Will Baskin back? Yes. So a safe Amaterasu and a dangerous moment for Odin. But Rat Milk and level 100 Behemoth Trelly, Mr. Sneaky 4, formerly known as, they've met up for a long time in the jungle. Amateur and now Founders Series. I feel like there's a little bit of bad blood there that might add an extra bit of weight to this matchup. But there's a lot of that throughout this map.
Absolutely, a little bit of pressure towards mid. Renown just uses that ultimate to get out. But this is one of the benefits of the mid lane build right now. Sands of Time into Chronos Pendant. Your cooldown rate is ridiculous. So Renown will be able to get open the gates back up very quickly. It takes a lot to be able to try and catch a mid laner with this build off guard. Same kind of thing with Panda Cat. I do think he'll go into Chronos Pendant next item. And you can essentially solo someone every 55 seconds. Like, that's the benefit of Death Gaze and cooldown, right? So trying to force out that Chronos Pendant early on should be the call, at least for Borscht. Remember, purple buff has been the call. Purple buff spawning in. Where's Final K? Where's Rat Milk? At the moment, not really nearby. Mario Bro only has to deal with Final K for the time being, but Final K also has Sunder and is nigh unkillable. That mystical mail. For now, oh boy, the ultimate is down for now. I said it'd be hard. Not that hard. Perfectly timed. Vegas will keep you alive a little bit longer. Can anyone help this man out? No. Panda Cat picks it up. And Baskin was on the way as well. You know, the ult just came back up. They timed that perfectly, Malum.
That was such a good attempt there from Renown to stay alive. Like you said, Borscht just on it. A Blink of Ragnarok, but no pull on the Final K. Level 100 Behemoth. So the attempt at protecting their purple buff for Alec Club, not going to be good this time around. They'll have to wait for the next one to try to contest it, which at this point, you're already stacking on a few. Things like that are why Borscht are holding on to a gold lead this early on.
Yeah, you hate to see it. You want to get that Ragnarok down, but it can be deceptive with that bite. And unfortunately does not land. No more action to be had. Level 9s across the board. You got one for Losh, you got one for Bastion, and of course Panda Cat after getting that kill. Sitting pretty in the mid lane. I really do like this role swap here. I mean, Pagon has always liked going towards ADCs when possible. Jingwei takes a little bit to get online. But Panda Cat, no matter what role he's been playing, and he has swapped a bit in his career, he likes to fight. And Anubis is that guy. You know, like Anubis is the type of guy that wants to 1v1, wants to scrap, and has the ability to do so. Jingwei...
Yeah, how many 1v5s are we seeing right now with Anubis?
I mean, 1v5s, I don't know about that, but like 1v1s for sure. Like Panda Cat will just look for a rap ult whenever, because that's just his play style. He wants to make you uncomfortable. He wants to put pressure on you, and Jingwei really can't do that too much. So I do like just, you know, kind of delegating Pagon over to duo lane and being like, all right, you chill, while Panda Cat gets to do stuff like this.
There's the ult.
Yep.
There's a solo kill. One laser, one death. That's a tough one for Renown. The second death for the Hecate. This one didn't force an ultimate out, so that's worth noting for sure. Losh and level 100 Behemoth both dealing with fine okay by the Queen Naga. Rat Milk nearby with Panda Cat. We'll turn into more. Fine okay still leashing the Queen Naga. There's a jump in. The Ragnarok. It's beadsed out by Panda Cat. The damage back was so good onto level 100 Behemoth, but Rat Milk won't go in. They didn't get that Fenrir quite low enough.
Not so much just yet. A little bit of rotation here. I wanted to see what Fine OK would do. He's kind of hovering in the jungle, but does not have too much reason to try and step forward. I'm surprised we haven't seen any Gold Fury attempts either. I know that it would be risky, but again, you got Sunder on Fino. Be a little bit of scrapping in mid lane. Once again, damage coming your way, but Panda Cat is here and he's doing a lot as well.
There's the open the gates. It brings back 3, and Renown gets big time damage. A double kill for Renown, and Cosmic Vibes gets the credit for Panda Cat. A big pickup and a great play from Renown on the Hecate to turn things around for Alec Club in the mid lane.
Yeah, you gotta watch out when you don't have that CC immunity. Bastion rolling in does pull the Aegis shield. Not gonna do enough damage, but you do get a little bit of that safety gone. That's one of the benefits of this Amaterasu. You can rotate very quickly with that movement speed. Sands of Time into Book of Thoth is going to be the build here from Baskin. So damage, definitely something that he is focusing on. We'll have to see how the build goes out. I believe that's building into Triton's Conch next up. So we'll get some value from the strength and the end. Paycon, once this 1v1, gets knocked up by himself. I don't think with a tower shot you're in range of the World Weaver, but regardless, Pagon's got to chill, man. I think he wanted to dash in and then hit the knock up and then ult off it, but it did not work out that way.
Feeling that 2-level lead. The Mario Bro has been performing super well in the Founder Series, especially on this Neath. It's been the pick for Mario Bro. So a little bit of respect from Pagon maybe going forward. We'll see, but that dash was anything but. Fine okay, gonna find them both in the bush. We'll get the stun, but no further aggression. Pagon's quite low in mana. The junglers are preoccupied in the mid lane. 11 minutes now, and that gold really hasn't moved too much. The biggest lead, 2 kills for Alec Club, and looking at experience, it's mostly just the ADC role for Borscht, and for Alec Club, you're looking at the jungle.
Again, I know the lead is not massive, but I really did expect Borscht to find some sort of presence towards this gold tier. You've got Baskin on this Amaterasu. He did end up building into Triton's Conch, so the auras are going to be insane. And you could just teleport over and try and shred through that objective. You got double Sunder if he ends up doing so. And it's not like there's a runic bomb in play, so I think it's pretty much guaranteed. But Borscht wants to play it passively or wait for Panda Cat to make a play. This Anubis playing like a jungler at this point in time. Did end up going Totem second item. I mean, it's great. I think it's like a great third item on Anubis, but second item, I really would have thought Chronos Pen would have been the call. You still do get cooldown rate, which is useful, so maybe wants to just focus on killing some of these tanks. I was waiting for the airstrike. Pagon definitely holding it here. It's available, holding his ground. There's no one rotating. Pagon stepping forward.
A lot of damage to Cosmic Vibes. The airstrike is used aggressively because look who's here. It's Baskin. Dazzling Offensive will find the stun and the kill for Pagon on the Mario Bro. You got the rotation from Losh. You got the cage out, but do you have the damage to bring down that ADC? Yeah, you do. Losh with 1. Meanwhile, Cosmic Vibes goes down as well. Another chaotic fight in dual lane, but this one's not done, not by a long shot. You got the junglers here now as well. The Ragnarok finds nobody for Behemoth, and now with Rat Milk here, this could go really bad really quick for Alec Club. Rat Milk to the sky, the land down. That's 1-2. That's another. Man, Borscht are just on it this game, Trelly. These team fights are looking clean. We haven't had many, but the ones we've had, it's a wash.
Yeah, open the gates could have been massive there. Unfortunately, the CC was chained so well onto Renown, had no access to beads, and now finally Gold Fury started up. No Sunder available for Losh. It would have to be a bird bomb if there was a steal attempt, which there is not. Losh jumps away, and finally, first Gold Fury of the game goes the way of Borscht. And again, I said Pagon was going in with no backup. Finally, Basket ends up using that teleporter, and the backup comes through. Plenty of damage, plenty of CC, plenty of setup. You've got yourself some leads just about every single lane. The only even I'm seeing for now is really Fine OK and Rat Milk. Everyone else is sitting just fine on the side of Borscht. Pyromancer being looked at. Pagon already here with the pull. Can anyone step up? Maybe Losh, maybe Renown, but it's going quick.
It might be too quick for Renown to have an answer, and it is indeed a Pyromancer for Borscht. Now, it's funny because I was going to say that was kind of the big missing piece, I feel like, is for now. And after that big-time ultimate in the mid lane earlier, I wanted to see more and more of the Hecate, see what they could do, but none of it. And also, interestingly, Pagon currently in the mid lane with Fine OK, whereas Panicat, the mid laner, was in duo for a bit farming out, now taking the teleporter over towards the solo lane. So a lot of map play coming out from Borscht. But all equal, Ragnarok out onto Fine OK will just force Talisman, nothing more.
Comes through. There's that rotation from Panicat. Oh, is it enough? It absolutely
So
is, thanks to that silence from Basket of Panicat. It's another kill. You said it, Mr. Worldwide at this point, just going to every lane possible. Pagon wants to kill, hovering death on the way. Do you time it right? Unfortunately, a bit early. And the Death Scythe and an auto attack will be enough to pick up another one. If you're Borscht, I mean, Fire Giant is a serious possibility here. You got plenty of damage, you got plenty of confirmation, and guess what? Panicat is behind you. If you are level 100 Behemoth, you gotta try and retreat. Grouping up in mid lane seems to be the call. They're gonna come from behind. I think they might.
It seems like the play from Borscht. They get the advantage on a team like Alec Club, try to get in their head, raise that tempo to a level where you control it, and that's what they are doing. Now Queen Naga goes to Borscht as well, and they're cleaning up everything on the map. Before we were saying how close the gold lead was. That's a thing of the past. We're coming up on 7,000 for Borscht. Level leads are getting out of control as well. I look at ADC and I kind of panicked as an Alec Club fan seeing Pagon at level 15 on that Jingwei. I mean, where did it go? It feels like it happened in 2 fights.
I mean, from the start, Mario Bro was having some trouble with Purple Buff alone, but I think the constant pressure, the ganking, and of course that rotation from Baskin definitely helped out. Jingwei with her passive, you give her like 1 to 2 waves underneath your tower, you're going to be in trouble. Pagon held onto that airstrike a little bit too long, and hey, Mario Bro still has plenty of burst damage, and that's a big kill because Mario Bro gets like a solid minute of just free farm, assuming that Fine OK doesn't get too much help, but oh no. I shouldn't have spoke because Basket, Fine OK, and Panicat all heading over towards duo. Try and retreat now if you can. You do not want to be caught under the brunt of this one because, I mean, Basket alone is doing ridiculous amounts of damage. That Book of Thoth into Triton's Con did enough, but seems like Soul Reaver might be coming soon. We'll have to see exactly where it goes, but the ult comes through. Tower is the problem, and that's a double kill.
Yep. Easy peasy for Borscht. They've got that purple timer. We said it at minute 2, and it's still affecting Alec Club at minute 16 and 45 seconds. That's great read there from Borscht. I feel like having the purple timer, but being able to use it not early, not just mid, but later we're getting in the game too, to make plays like that, to get picks like that is incredibly strong. And earlier you were saying that Borscht was set up for Fire Giant. I'm starting to think they may feel the same way. They're all walking that way.
They are for now. You got Losh nearby, and Odin does have access to Sunder, something to keep your eye on. But Fire Giant started up, level 100 Behemoth, trying to act like a mobile ward with the rest of the squad. You will not have help from Mario Bro, and Fire Giant's at about half.
It's going down really quick. Where's the answer going to be? You got the Fenrir nearby. You have Hecate here now. Ultimate at the ready, but none for the Fenrir. But it looks like Borscht just want the fight. They just want the pick onto Losh. They're not going to find that. Reverse Rebuke. Will that help anything out? Looks like the help is needed for Cosmic Vibes, who's almost dead, and the dash shield from Baskin secures the support. Now Wrap Milk to the sky. The landing, the stun, the damage. It's all good. And Alec Club is falling apart in the jungle. Borscht clean up with 4 kills.
Man, that Yoan's Revenge is disgusting. That Death Scythe, thanks to the kill cooldown reset as well. It's 600 damage just about. Losh gonna be stuck in the base for this one, and Fire Giant on all 5. This is something that I expected to see just a little bit earlier for Borscht, but hey, 18 minutes, not a bad pace to grab the first Fire Giant of the game. They're gonna grab that, no problem. Where do they head next though? Is it back to base? Is it to Gold Fury? Do you start pushing towers? I think they have a lot of gold in hand, so definitely smart to just pick up some items. Yeah, Panicat alone has 3,000. So I think going on back to base, probably pull through the Fury, then go for the tier 1s and tier 2s and left and mid. Not a bad strategy if you're Borscht. And I'm not going to say that Alec Club had like any sort of control in the mid lane, but this got real out of hand real quickly. And unfortunately, this Odin pickup, I mean, Losh got the majority of the pressure early on. Remember, there was a gank on a Baskin, but The Odin's having a hard time trying to keep up just because Baskin can farm so efficiently. He's very quick, and he does a ton of damage.
And one thing too, and you talked about this, and I feel like I've heard you talk about it even going back towards the end of Smite 1 SPL, where matchups like this, a team like Alec Club going into Borscht, you can't get outpaced. They had opportunities to gank Losh and keep Baskin down. Instead, they put them duo, but more fighting in duo, and look where it's gotten Alec Club, only into Bad News Bears time. Borscht pick up Mario Bro, add Cosmic Vibes, and level 100 Behemoth to the list. There's just nothing Alec Club can do in these fights.
You said it. Nothing is correct. You don't want to be stuck underneath your tier 1. Phoenix is probably the only safe place on the map for Alec Club. Left side Bird is going to be the target here from Borscht. They've got a Runic Bomb. That one's in the back pocket of Panda Cat. And even with a beautiful cage into an open the gates, I don't think a pick here is very reasonable. All of a sudden, into the knockup. This might be end territory now. Renown is dead too. Yeah, but just go ahead and walk in. I don't know if Cosmic Vibes and Mario Bro are going to be able to stop you. At least Anubis soldiers down. That may deter Borscht from stepping into the Titan room, but the way they've been playing, I was going to say I doubt it. But they are going to take the safe route. No one wants to get pulled underneath the well by level 100 Behemoth, so they're going to cross their T's and dot their I's, play this one a little bit safer. And I thought for a second Bastion was trying to dive tower, but there was a wave there, so clear out the wave and, you know, take this one just a bit slower.
It's tough because it's one of those things where a lot of people felt like this was going to be how this matchup went. And there wasn't a lot of respect being put in the Alec Club name. It was a lot of who Omega lol. And Alec Club, they talked about it on Twitter. They felt it and they tried to turn it around. But a fight like this, that tells you all you need to know. Borscht, they're making them feel that way. And Alec Club are just trying to survive the remainder of this game. Play it out. See what more you can pick up. Get some more fighting out, I guess. You've got to figure out something going into game 2 because they'll have to change it up. But you still have game 1 to get through. But they feel so in the back foot because the team fighting feels so outpaced.
Did you really see someone say who Omega lol, or is that like is that a Malum original? I need to know. I need to know if you made that up or if someone actually
I will
said
say
it.
I say that a lot. That's a go-to favorite of mine.
I'm just saying, you could have been like, yeah, a lot of people were counting these guys out, but you made up a Twitch message that someone would have said roasting them. That's just cold. Game number 1, not going great, but hey, as a chair 2, I have to think of the comeback potential. Hakate, Renown, does have a decent bit of damage on that with a Rod Up to Hoodie. There could be some ability to pull someone back in, and we have seen during base defense how the Neath Weaves can stack up. Mario Bro has a good bit of damage as well. It's all going to be on the front line, though. Can Cosmic Vibes and Losh combine for some good CC, can pull back 1, and oh my goodness, Payco just barely gets to the sky.
Can you find the pick though? River's Rebuke is out. Rat Milk to the sky. The landing, not going to find the execute on the Cosmic Vibes. Final K couldn't set up either. A Pagon's got a clean, and then Panda Cat, and then Rat Milk. Who's up next? Another 4 Rat Milk. There it goes. Alec Club. They hung on as long as they could. They even got 1 on the way out. But game number 1, Borscht was a bit too much to handle. And I gotta say, at the end there, even that fight, there is some promise from Alec Club. Trelly, they got the comms, they kept clear-headed, but Borscht just looked a bit better in game 1.
And see, I do agree with you, but my only issue here is that I don't see like blaring weaknesses there in Borscht. Like, oh, if we just take away Baskin's Alma, we're good. Oh, if we take away Panda Cat's Anubis, we're good. If we take away Rat Milk Santos, we're good. I think there was a lot that went well there for Borscht. So if I'm Alec Club, I'm not throwing that draft away entirely. I'm going to take a few things of note, though. Number 1, camping solo went well, right? You were able to get first blood, get a small lead there. You lost track of Baskin at some point, but that can be, you know, that's going to happen regardless. Number 2, if Final K gets an aggressive support, he will be at your first purple buff. So you either A, match that Sunder, or B, you forego duo lane pressure entirely and just get an ADC that can survive, because it's not Neath. Like Neath can get dove and camped very easily.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of that too was the comfort level for Mario Bro. They wanted to put Mario Bro in a character to succeed. Neath has been that one, but in this scenario, just didn't work out enough. But there's one thing I do know about Alec Club from casting these players a while. They've got the mental fortitude where they're going to say, all right, well, we have one more game to play with. Let's see what we can bring to Borscht. And when we come back from break, we'll see what they can do to stay alive. Don't go anywhere.
And then I said, that's not Bacchus, that's Bilson's mother. That one always makes me laugh. But enough about my weekend. Hey, Gormizer, what's new with you?
Just picked up my SMITE 2 Founders Edition.
Very nice.
Purchased it on my preferred gaming platform just yesterday.
Nice skin.
It's Kakademon Ymir. It comes with all SMITE 2 gods. Forever.
That's very cool, Gormizer, but that's nothing. Look at this. Night Stalker Neath and Ascension passes for 11 Alpha Launch gods. What do you think?
Geez, that is really super. How'd a nitwit like you get so tasteful?
Can't believe that Bandy prefers Chelly's Founders Edition to mine.
Very nice. Impressive. Let's see J-Max Founder Edition.
Look at that avatar, badge and title. The tasteful thickness of Tier 5 Fallen Zeusia. Oh my god, it even comes with Ascension passes for all 23 Alpha gods.
Don't be like this psycho and upgrade your Founders Edition, so you don't miss out on Night Stalker Neath, Tier 5 Fallen Zeus, and Ascension passes for the first 23 gods. Upgrade today.
Hello and welcome back in, you nitwits. Make sure if you want to experience the tasteful thickness of Tier 5 Zeus, you grab yourself a Founders Edition today. And you saw enough of the reasons why, but let me remind you, the Founders Edition itself, perfect purchase. Basically the God Pack from SMITE 1. You get all the characters going forward. You can upgrade to the Deluxe Founders Edition, get a pretty awesome neat skin. Not to be too biased about it. You get Ascension passes for the first 11 gods, and if you want to get crazy, get the Ultimate Founders Edition today. That gets you that tier 5 Zeus skin and 23 Ascension passes for the first 23 Alpha gods. So definitely a worth it pickup. So make sure you put exclamation point access, get in Smite 2 today, and then upgrade later on today, and you'll be all set up for Smite 2. But Smite 2 Founder Series, it continues, and game number 1 handily went to Borscht and Alec Club. They're looking for anything to turn around in game number 2.
And that's the thing. We talked about towards the end of that matchup there, but it didn't really seem like one single pick or one single decision would have been the real issue here for Alec Club. But a good place to start would be try and minimize what Final K, what Pagon, what Ratmilk can do in that duo lane. I think they had a good job. I think level 100 Behemoth made the right call to, spend some time over in solo, get Losh ahead. It worked out fine. But afterwards, Baskin was always going to be able to out-rotate. So if you are going to play through solo, commit to it and continue ganking Baskin. And if you aren't, you got to get Sunder or take Final K off of that early pressure, because Bacchus, it's very hard to deal with him and punish him for making those plays because he can just belly flop out.
One thing I would like to see Alec Club do, because one thing you mentioned I really liked the call out from you of, was not going to be a lot you can change draft wise from Borscht, because it's not like they went for everything that's top of the top right now. They definitely had a few, Jingwei consistently being picked first overall for ADCs. Amaterasu obviously fantastic, but there's better options. The Ratmilk could go Susano if you ban Thanatos. Pandacat could go Cuckoo if you ban Anubis. There's a lot out there, but I loved the Hecate for Renown, and that was probably the shining moment in game number 1 for me for Alec Club. So I'd like to see the Hecate back. And for Mario Bro, I don't think the Neath looked bad, and we've seen Mario Bro have some good moments. I want to know what it would take to get Mario Bro to have more consistent pop-off moments.
I think just maybe having more rotations over towards duo. If you want to keep Mario Bro on the Neath, maybe having level 100 Behemoth spend some time over in duo as opposed to solo lane. But again, you got to have someone tracking Ratmilk. We saw Baron into Loki bans this time around, so maybe try and position yourself so you can take one of those for yourself.
We'll see if they do. Picks and bans are here. Charlie was 1 at 2 in the last game with predictions, so go.
Fenrir. I think it's still Fenrir Baron. I can't imagine that Alec Club bans the Loki. Oh no, they banned Baron though. Okay, so yeah, Baron, and then Borscht just bans Loki again. They went the same one. I thought that they swapped sides, but they didn't. So yeah, it's gonna be Baron Loki again. There's no way Borscht has to change it. And then do you first pick the Fenrir though? I think you do. I think it's gonna be the same.
I didn't hate the Fenrir. Like you said, a lot of it was just decision making around the map. And going back to even an early conversation we had about where the first blood could be, you had the right call. It was the Fenrir, but it wasn't in mid. So utilizing that Fenrir, getting as many kills as possible could be it. But instead they pivot and they go to the other dog that you got baited with in game 1. They went back to the Fenrir. This time they lock it in. Alec Club, go with Anubis.
I'm not mad at this, man. I like the Anubis a lot. Again, if you're trying to find pressure early, or if you just want to have an out, and a character that can just get you out of a sticky situation, Anubis can be that character. That ultimate is going to be great no matter how far behind you get. As long as you have pen and itemization and just a good bit of intelligence to go with it, you can find a kill if there's enough CC. So I don't mind prioritizing the Anubis. That could be them saying, hey, Borscht, you're not going to pick Fenrir and we know it, or they're saying we just value this Anubis pick more. If it was the first one, unfortunate, because Borscht immediately locks in that Fenrir. Could be for Final K out of support, could be for Ratmilk in the jungle. Only time will tell. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was towards that Final K.
I'm with you. While I haven't seen much Fenrir on Ratmilk, I mentioned a lot of the god pool for Ratmilk tends to be that more fight look for pick type of jungle selection. Fenrir just also looks great in support. Alec Club do pivot in terms of what will likely be the ADC, and they grab the Jingwei away from Borscht, foregoing the Neath that has been the Mario Bro pick for the last few weeks. I didn't hate the Neath, but I do like having the Jingwei because the crit path you can go could turn things around late game.
Absolutely. And I talked about last game how Borscht had a disgusting late game because they had Anubis and Jingwei in the back line. Now Alec Club has taken that, and they have taken the front line of Borscht. You're not going to be able to grab Baskin's Ama. That's already been locked in here. But hey, 3 out of 5, not bad. Borscht's going to have to play a completely different game
on my
here in game number 2. Seen a lot of swaps here this time around Hecate. Really. Remember, Pagon and Pandacat did do a bit of a role swap there. They could always just swap back and Pagon could take this Hecate, or Could be Panda Cat on it. Only time will tell. Now that we see the Cern, I imagine the Cern's more of a Pagon god. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I do like both of these. Hard CC, big, easy to hit circles. You already have Alma and Fenrir for setup. And again, if you're trying to match the late game, you're doing a pretty good job.
Pretty simple PEMDAS for Borscht to make these fights work. Alec Club
Some
need an
gods
answer,
will never
though, and
learn,
one of the big things they
but we
needed
must
was
do our best to teach
jungle,
them anyway.
but, the Athena grab. Are we thinking that's jungle? Because Bacchus has been a toss-up. I feel like every time I lock in on, it's going to be Bacchus solo,
There will
it's
be
been a
no
Bacchus
dissenters,
support.
no ounce
With
of
the
treachery.
Mordred locked in, I guess that
My
kind of gives a better,
word
more
is
clear
law,
answer.
and the kingdom,
Yeah,
the
I mean,
world,
I think it's either...
will obey.
I just always prefer Mordred in the solo lane, so I think you do take Athena jungle here. But of the matchups, Bacchus support is what I want the most, just because you need help over in that duo lane, and Bacchus will provide it. And I do not want to see Mordred jungle over the Athena. So it will be Final K taking the Fenrir into that support role, and then of course Rat Milk just getting the Thana back one more time. This seems like a better look for Alec Club for sure, but still a composition that wants to get late game real bad. Whereas Borscht, they've got Fenrir, they have the Thanatos, they have the Cern. A lot of characters, barring the Hecate, that can just start cooking very early on. You don't even need your ultimate to do so. So I'm gonna be watching Borscht. Last time I predicted that Fenrir getting first blood. I'm thinking it's gonna be Thana this time around, but only time will tell.
We know that Ratmilk likes to play that way, and depending who's in the mid lane this game, as Trilling mentioned, Panda Cat and Pagon had a bit of a swap. That could also go with the aggression of it, because I don't know, for some reason I get the vibe the Panda Cat and Hecate could turn into a pretty early bloodbath. And Alec Club, game one, you had Renown, they had a great game on Hecate, shut him down early on the Anubis of all things, and you've got yourself a pretty easy target in the mid lane.
I would say so, and it's not as if Anubis has bad clear. Like, you can clear pretty safely and get out of trouble, but I think a lot of Anubises get baited into stepping up to Plague of Locusts that way. But once you do that, if you don't have Blink, you're pretty far up in lane, and that gives Rat Milk a ton of time to try and find a Death Scythe and look for some action there. That doesn't do a lot of damage though, so I don't know. You gotta play it safe, but I still think Thanatos should be around where that first blood happens. It just depends on how this early game goes.
We're on first blood watch for the God of Death himself. It's game 2 time. Let's head on to the battleground and see how it breaks down. Alec Club remain your order team. Borscht still chaotic for sure. And Alec Club looking to turn around a lot. This is their do or die game before they get sent to the last chance qualifier. For Borscht, they would go 2-2. And it's Anthony squared to bring it to you with Doug on spectator. Early on, Borscht in the jungle grouped up. Losh in some danger, but the ward drop, Losh will see, which might help keep him alive.
Definitely looks like it for now. You do have Mario Bro kind of away from the squad here. I wanted to see where everyone petered off to. It does seem like Panda Cat is going to chill in mid lane. So Hecate just going to be going to the mid lane as we expected, but still, I think there's a possibility of Pagon and Panda swapping, and they decided to go against it for now. Like the build, though, whenever you see a Cern going strength, I just think that works so much better. There was a time where I thought the intelligent Cern was the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, but I'm against it now. Fino does have that Sunder. And hey, they did listen to one thing. Cosmic Vibes ends up taking the Bacchus and grabbing the Sunder as well, so you can try and contest Fino K here for the invade. Unfortunately for Fino, yeah, he's surrounded at the moment, so it's going to be scary. I like exactly what Cosmic Vibes is doing, though. Just follow him. Follow him regardless. Do not let him sunder your buff uncontested, because he can take one for free as long as Cosmic Vibes is here. Make sure you own the Sunder, and they get it no problem. So I think fine, okay. Kind of wasting his time here. You give Pagon solo farm, sure, but Cosmic Vibes already shut down this early strat here from Borscht.
A great response and a much better read of the early game this time from Alec Club, comparatively to game number 1. Losh still doing a lot of damage early to Baskin, and in the mid lane, Thanatos is looking for the Anubis, who's pretty backed up. So, all in all, a very similar feel to the start of game 2 to that of game number 1, with the change being the better awareness of Final K, as you mentioned. But it does make me wonder, with that kind of lack of purple buff, will we still see the same kind of invade on it later on? That was a key for Borscht to get so ahead of Alec Club. The 100 Behemoth really chasing out Panda Cat, but 1 overcommit.
Well, that's the call. Again, you got to watch out for the blink. That is only available for Rat Milk. But, oh, that's a good route. The Sunder will take him down and fine. Okay. gets the first blood. Did not end up sundering for that first buff, so use it for the kill. Does not matter. Wow, beautiful route there from Pagon. That Bramble Blast was clutch in confirming that one. I thought maybe it would be the junglers getting involved, but you just step up a bit too far if you're Mario, bro. And you end up falling down. Now you got a Fenrir. Should be an absolute threat. Renown stepping up here, does not realize that Ratmilk's behind him. Gonna eat a death scythe for sure, but can you make it out? It's a good wrap. I don't know if it's enough.
Got him with the auto at the end there, and Ratmilk with the first pick up in the jungle, the second kill in total for Borscht. So while the very start looked better for Alec Club, we're kind of back to more of the same thing. Losh, what a damage onto Baskin, but hard to imagine the Baskin would overplay their hand. But more importantly, look who's on the way yet again. Ratmilk lurking on that Thanatos. Really go in for the pick. Losh already used that shoulder tackle and might have needed it. Ratmilk, second kill in the jungle.
Ooh, I mean, we've been talking about trying to slow down the pace of this game, Malum, and I have not seen that so far for Borscht. Already level 5, hovering death has been unlocked for Ratmilk. I mean, this is a pace that is not easy to try and stop either, because I've went into great detail about this Athena jungle. There are times when it is just incredible and one of the best picks you can have, and there are times when it just, you know, you're always in the right, you're always a little bit behind, you don't have enough damage to help out, and Behemoth is setting up for that kind of game where Ratmilk is just always going to be out damaging you, even if you go in for a nice dash taunt under tower. Does not matter. The beads is good, but not up to you. Oh, the tower. Ratmilk's not even here, so Behemoth is fine, but Solo Lane is where he comes down. Plenty of damage, and Baskin picks that one up. My goodness. Beautifully timed beads there from Panda Cat. I'm amazed at how much level 100 Behemoth tanked for that tower, but hey, it ended up working out. No one dies. Unfortunately, does not work out for Losh, who takes the second death of the game already in solo.
And the wealth is being spread. If you look across the board right now for Borscht, everyone's got something on their slash line, and that is potentially one of the more problematic pieces for Alec Club, especially if you need to change the tempo, if you got to win back some of it. I think that's where Borscht might feel the strongest, because this is a talking point that goes back to the open bracket tournaments and the earliest phases of Alpha. That was, you can't let these teams with the bigger names just completely outpace you, because playing too passive can ultimately be the end of your game anyway. You've got to make some kind of play, and already Borscht are just in that different gear.
So far, that seems like it, and all off the backup of this Thanatos. Ratmilk, I'm spending my eyes on this guy, right? Wherever he goes, we knows. 3 buffs already. Well, 2, about to be a 3rd one once the speed buff comes through. And, you know, I was calling for it in game number 1, definitely calling for it in game number 2. Gold Fury should be where Borscht tries to put their pressure here. Yeah, you can get kills, that's no problem, but yeah, you want to try and force fights as early as possible. Fine, okay. Has Ragnarok. Could be somewhere you try and get active. You want to pay attention to the beads. Getting the ult down's great, but here comes the chain ultimate. Where's that Ragnarok coming through? Pick up the Athena. Why not? Get one. Go ahead and pick up a second kill if you're Borscht. Oh, Malum. This one is tough.
Yeah, not looking great. It's not what you want if you're rooting for Alec Club. If you're rooting for Borscht, that's exactly what you want. You could not be any happier right now, I don't think. 6-0, already 3K gold separating the two teams, and we just crossed that 5-minute mark. And Ratmilk, 5 effective kills so far for the Thanatos with a 3-0-2 slash line, which that might be one of the scarier parts, because Thanatos, a bit different from SMITE 1 Thanatos. The later you get, the better he's doing, and Ratmilk's speedrunning to that point of the game. It's just nothing's feeling great. And I mean, look at Baskin right now. This feels like Season 6 Baskin, where they're so ahead. Maybe even like a Season 4 Baskin, where, all right, I'm just going to go to the Phoenix, guys. I don't think anyone's going to stop me.
And you're right. Who would possibly be here to try and shut down Baskin? I mean, level 8. Has at least 2, sometimes 3 levels about everyone. Oh my goodness, look at this. Is what I'm talking about, and I've been very vocal about this, so I don't want to sound like a broken record, but these Athena jungle builds, like, you need damage. Like the Jotun's Revenge Spear of Deso build, I love. Ruinous Ankh, Cosmic Vibes, unfortunately almost falls down there, but you know, you live. Ruinous Ankh start for jungle. Like, I get that you want to be tanky and survive, but you gotta do damage to thwart Borscht a little bit, right? Like, if you're a non-threatening and you're just a CC bot, you're leaving all of your damage to your squad, which, I mean, hey, Anubis does good bit, but Mario Bro, it's gonna be a while before he's cooking.
There's the life finder, the two-man taunt out, but there's just not a lot you can do right now. Mario Bro almost died from the hit of Ragnarok combined with the Bramble Blast. So just not looking like a great fight. Panda Cat lurking if it gets further. But I don't even know if Panda Cat will be fully needed. Behemoth dashes on to find okay. Doesn't find the taunt. But I feel like we're still calm before the storm. Look how low Mario Bro is. Meanwhile, mid lane, Renown, is he dead? Not quite. Right up to the sky. Will he find it? The split lane to lane, the land in mid, not gonna find the kill. Athena heads over, will arrive after the death, but the tower kill. Panda Cat back to left lane yet again with a Mordred. Sets up the kill for Cosmic Vibes, who gets a shutdown. Some Alec on Alec crime. And both lanes wanted to get nuts there. Ends up 8-2 total kills on the scoreboard. Alec Club get themselves on the board.
I mean, definitely not a bad look, right? You finally get some kills, diving the tower, and that Athena shield does come in pretty clutch there, but not enough to keep Renown alive. And of course, fine, okay. They have overstayed his welcome a bit in that shutdown. Rio shutdown, that's nothing to sneeze at either. Next up, if you get a kill on a Rat Milk, I can see Alec Club finding some their second wind here in this set so far. But the Phantos, it's been very difficult to try and stop. At least from what I've seen. First item, Jotun's Revenge, possibly going into more damage next, which is exactly what you want from your 4-0-2 jungler. But it has not been the objective plays. And I think this has been something that I've noticed that has kind of separated Borscht from these top-end teams, is they don't push their leads in the smart, like, let's get more gold in our pockets ways. They push their lead in the fun, let's get more kills on the scoreboard kind of way. Which, hey, they are definitely having fun, but do you have the damage to find Rowan? So far, no. The healing was decent, but Ratbell picks up kill number 5.
Airstrike in the duo lane. Mario Bro just trying to keep alive. A lot of rotations out to duo. There's the Ragnarok, the pull, the damage, the Wild Hunt. Nothing's bringing down Mario Bro, and fine, okay, gets popped. But Rat Milk is just making his way through the map. Picks up one in mid, one in the left jungle, and there might even be a look at diving here, like Trelly said. Borscht like to just fight, but no real opportunity, so they won't overcommit quite yet. Maybe this is the objective call we've been waiting for? No, what's back next to the gold instead?
It's close. It's almost an objective call. You're very close to the
All
objective.
targeted.
Yep. They said, oh, you want this? No, we're not going to do that. And hey, I haven't seen a lot from Baskin. He's just been proxying. Looks like he's going for another Phoenix proxy, perhaps, or just trying to take away some back camps. But Gem of Focus, Book of Thoth, man. Nizama. Definitely doing a lot of damage at the moment. Not really that tanky. Definitely somewhere that Alec could try and put their damage to, but I mean, I'm looking at a level 7 Athena jungle at the moment. So yeah, rotating on the basket's great, but unfortunately, Rat Milk gets here first, and you're still not safe. Maybe the Anubis could save you. Rowan, Renown on the way. Do you have enough damage is the question.
Keep throwing bodies at him. Surely eventually something will go your way. That's what Alec Club might do. Baskin backs away. Rat Milk potentially re-engaging. Hoping the gates comes down, doesn't find a home, but now Renown ults. But all it really did was give us a laser light show for the funeral of Renown. Another pickup for Borscht, 12-3, and a tower dive coming out looking for Cosmic Vibes. They'll grab it. They got the Gold Fury as well. It's looking real good to be Borscht right now.
They finally went for the gold. That's what we've been waiting for. Not a bad start. But do they have the ability to go for like a 15-minute fire giant? I'm looking at DPS. Already building into some attack speed there. I believe Bracer might have been on the docket there for Pagon. You definitely have the ability to, but I think the 15-minute fire giants are where you can definitely throw a game. Again, they took them a while to even decide to do Gold Fury. They had a massive lead there. Borscht, that is. So I think Alec Club needs to just find some safety in those lanes and play for as much safe, uncontested farm as possible. So what's that mean? Are they at your buff? Okay, we don't go for that buff. Are they at my tower? We don't step out of the tower. Is Baskin proxying? Let's not send 3 people over to him because that's not enough. You just go for the farm that's automatically coming to you, the minions. That's kind of what you have to go for here. That or you just look for a overwhelming like 3v1 in the jungle. I think Rat Milk is still the most valuable pick on the map, but it doesn't really seem like they have the damage to kill him before he goes up into the sky anyways.
That's been the big thing, is every fight that Rat Milk's been involved in, right to the sky. It's kind of Thanatos' thing, but instantly taking out the Anubis. I feel like that's been the majority of the ultimates we've seen. Not even for executes, just, okay, we're locking in, we're killing the Anubis before they can do any damage, because the rest of the team for Alec Club so far is lacking so much of it. They can't disperse it any other way. Jingwei is so far from late game. Athena, probably an even worse situation. And as you called out, itemization wise, the life binder first that's not setting you up to do big time damage numbers. So you just have nothing to give in response until late game. But with how the game's going, Trelly, late game feels ambitious to talk about.
Yeah, I would say so. You're trying to thwart the aggression as much as possible, but again, you just need to play your strengths, and Alec Club doesn't have a lot of strengths at the moment when Borscht has such a lead like this. There are ways to stack up and try and go for picks, but as you mentioned, Renown would be the one. The Anubis is the damage dealer on the side of Alec Club, because Mario Bro just cannot contest with this DPS at the moment. And Borscht knows this. Believe me, they are well aware of who could be the one to find a pick, who could be the one to do damage to kill. And that's why all their pressure is in mid lane onto this Anubis. I don't think they even have the peel to save him is the other issue, right? We've been talking about damage dealers. Let's talk about how tanky your tanks are. They really aren't able to scale up just yet.
Well, back in game, 3-13 at the 10-minute and 50-second mark, roughly. Gold is a lot, not quite a 10k for Borscht, but they're getting close to it. Alec Club are hanging on, and 1 gold theory for the red side, being Borscht, and lots of levels as well. A wild hunt, a bramble blast will force the feeds away from Mario Bros. They do live, as the Queen Naga buff will also go around the belt of Borscht.
Your right tower is under attack.
Thinking if you can. And we're almost approaching a 10,000 gold deficit, right? And in 11 minutes, that is ridiculous. That is a level of farm that is hard to try and combat. If Baskin's able to grab 2 levels, he'll be double in Cosmic Vibe. And you know what? They're level 100 Behemoth into the mix. They're both level 8, which is very difficult to do. But you can see the XP per minute there. Baskin is just about to double the XP per minute. The second, oh no, he doesn't even get away. But he just saw one guy and said, I'm ulting out. He's like, by the way, there's 4 more here. Yeah, I doubted myself, Malum, but I do think 50 minute XP could definitely be on the cards here for Borscht.
I think I'm with you. I think I'm with you. The wrap, the laser, the spin. But Rapnok rotates through for a triple kill mid-spin from Renown. 10 for the Thanatos. It's looking as good as it can look for Borscht. I mean, at least the ultimate looked cool. If you ever wondered Renown's DPI, you have an answer on that. That's kind of cool.
We do now have that information. But even still cannot ult out. This is one that I can't tell, like, if it's disrespectful to like cast normally, and act as if there's a way to fight back in, or if it's better just to keep it real. And at the moment, Borscht is playing with their food. That is what we are witnessing here. Ulting back.
Brought back. All right. That's a Bramble Blast down.
This could be big. There we go.
A kill for Renown on the fine. Okay.
I mean, Fino's the only one dying, though, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say, unluckily not the Thanatos, who you love. Ratmilk's diving under the tower with the ultimate, feeds out from Renown, and Ratmilk gets wrapped up! Ambitious much and a big-time shutdown for Renown. If nothing else, that feels gigantic. That must be so much gold in pocket.
That is massive. Because Ratmilk was that dude. Like, 10-0, that is definitely the guy you want to try and kill. Now Borscht, they're getting caught out left and right. Pagon, of course, not caught out yet, but with some help from the fly-in from Mario Bro. You'd love to find a kill here. Can you do it? I think you can. Pagon's gone. I'm glad my subtle foreshadowing is coming to fruition. Borscht does not push their lead the way that a regular team does. They do it a bit troll, and they do it a bit goofy, and you can get punished when doing that for sure. Still, 9,000 gold deficit. Ridiculously hard to come back from, but we are seeing the mistakes definitely get capitalized on here by Alec Club.
The dive under the Phoenix. Won't find any picks. 14 minutes. Tier 2 still up in that duo lane for Alec Club. Mid lane, Renown is holding down the mid lane. Nobody can take that away from the Anubis. The dogs going to war. The final K won't overcommit with Losh nearby. I gotta say, overall, Alec Club, if they somehow weather this storm and Borscht keep making that mistake of minimal objective play, only fighting for picks, it can blow up. But Trelly, realistically speaking, how far away is that situation from occurring? Because I look at the scoreboard and I see a 16-8 level differential.
I am under the impression that Borscht they should not die anymore, right? They're going to, because they're doing stuff like this, but they realistically, from this position, from the lead they have, they should not be dying anymore.
It's kind of rude for that
your
Ching to get away.
We are as far away from that play as Borscht wants us to be.
Oh, come on. Come on, man. You know how hard Losh was working for that? That would have gotten team morale back. Ugh.
I don't know if it would have got like their morale the whole way back, but it would have.
At least a little bit. Some positivity in the comms, you know? Because they haven't even
woohoo, you know, I would have.
They haven't even gotten a war. The chalice, the gold chalice hasn't even been grabbed. A fire giant got a kill.
Hey.
It's almost Halloween. That's cool.
There are mental
Big
victories
Halloween
here.
guy.
There are tiny wins that we must add up. Man, you know what? Hey, Renown is out damaging Panicat. That's pretty cool. See the damage charts? That's a dub.
Oh, Bloodforged Blade. Support Fenrir jumping in. Can't find the pick. Renown with the laser back. We'll force them away. Behemoth with a nasty reach onto the minion wave.
That's definitely not like, bro, we're already down this far and you're wasting your ult. Like, you're the only guy who can do stuff right now. They're so split too. Like, Rat Milk is in left. Panicat finally showing up to mid lane. They're just taking turns dying in mid. They're just trolling, man.
Bloodforce pop from Final K. It's huge. They open the gates to get away. They do run into Losh, who gets the pick on to Final K, and there's going to be another one dead. This is all giving the Anubis 6 total kills this game.
I hope Borscht trolls this even harder, man. I hope Alec Club wins. They deserve
They're
it.
going to the fire giant.
Well, this
Club
is
are pulling fire.
Well
Rat Milk to the sky. Oh no.
Yeah.
Behemoth's almost dead. It gets executed. The blink from Rat Milk. He'll take on the whole team. Already a double kill. Renown shuts it down. Fire Giant still pulled. This Pagon dashed in. I don't know what to say on this one. Pagon will take the 1v3 and go down. And now Alec Club stand with 3 members tall. They get the deicide onto Borscht. I mean, there's a Sunbeam Bow and Thanatos. That's kind of cool. Let's talk about that.
Final K has Soul Gem. That's pretty cool. We can talk about that. Oh my god. Any Soul Gemmers? No, couldn't get the proc. Only got one. Unfortunate. Did get the kill though. Not bad. Lazy backing when you're down 10k is a play for sure. Will Borscht pull Fire Giant? No, they're missing 2 key players. Will they dive Phoenix? Also a possibility. But hey, Alec Club, they could go for in Gold Fury. That's not a terrible call. At the very least. No, level 100 Behemoth is level 10. I was going to say he's catching back up, but he's really not.
Dina ult. She's dead.
That's some great casting.
Thanks.
Dina ult. He's dead. I'm ult.
That's why I'm here. Double kill for Baskin. Rat Milk to the sky. Renown does kill Final K again. I mean, Alec Club
putting on a legacy performance.
So I was gonna say Alec Club. Their support's name is Alec. That's why they're called Alec Club. But I think after this set, it's a reasonable thing to say that they are just Alec Club. They could be Borscht Club for sure. I mean, they're playing like it. Baskin goes down, another one for the Anubis. Renown's going to be in the history books with some of these kills. Just from Borscht holding W. Now it's a double kill for Renown. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
Your left Phoenix is under attack.
it's something. Borscht is making some decisions here. I can tell you that much.
Bastion's going to hit level 20, but good news is a level 100 Behemoth at level 10.
Yeah, one of the fun things about Sunbeam Bow on Thanatos is the fact that he has no mana, so you can just like use it kind of forever. I assume that's the way it works because it like drains your mana, and
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's got none, so he just like always gets enhanced auto attacks. It's nifty. I don't think it's like great, but it's cool.
I'm looking for cool.
Yeah.
Cool's good for the mental. Anything else cool? Second item's been done on level 100 Behemoth for a while. That's pretty hype. Working on that third item.
010 is a heck of a stat line for the jungler. Oh, he hit level 11 before anyone hit 20, so that's good. Can't get doubled.
More levels than deaths is the goal.
Okay, yeah, I can see that happening.
Ooh, 12?
Yo, Farm Goblin. Finally, Fire Giant starting up. Is anyone from Alec Club nearby? No, they are all on the left side of the map. Gold Fury would be nice to grab in the meantime. Maybe they just assume that Borscht wouldn't be anywhere near Fire Giant.
They haven't done it like the whole game, yeah.
But I think you pull that Gold Fury immediately, and if you don't do it quickly, I mean, Borscht is going to be at your Phoenix by the time they actually step up.
Baskin, just holding left click, taking on Losh. Charging up the shield. We'll see if that's the go button. Now the Gold Fury pulled from Alec Club. As Borscht is stepping up, they're going to grab the tier 2 first, so some time before the full Phoenix. Nobody told Baskin that the tier 2 was still up, standing at the Phoenix waiting. Now they go back. And Borscht group up on the tier 2. Alec Club is fully back, ready to defend. Renown's been their key to any success this game, so the Anubis, I imagine, would be a target. An ultimate from the Mordred there. Didn't find anybody, and Borscht just waiting on the go button.
Phoenix is under attack.
They sure are. Right side bird. Threshold
There it
already
is.
reached. You missed the ult and blink out if you're at Milk. Unfortunate, Behemoth does not get death number 11 on his belt, but mid Phoenix is the target. Borscht has plenty of DPS, and assuming that they just focus on the Phoenix, it should drop soon, but Picon is more so looking for blood, taking up that bird. Finally, the base is partly broken, but the engage begins.
Talisman out, double kill already for Baskin. Panic Apple grab 1, but Renown still holding on to that legacy performance. Got 1 more kill on the way out. Mario Bro will be the last one standing, and now displaying Evade in the fountain. Pagon's gonna die. Pagon dashes into the fountain. All right. All right, man.
Yep.
Titan let go of.
I'm
Bye,
out,
Borscht.
and I wish Alec Club had a little bit more farm on their belt.
I'm almost
Baskin.
rooting for him at this point.
Yep, Baskin does not care about the Titan, does not care about helping the team. He's just farming damage in well.
Your right Phoenix has been destroyed.
That's the.
I mean,
that's the
at
right
this point,
Phoenix
I don't
going.
think they even had the damage to end if they wanted
There's
to.
the
So, like,
crit.
Borscht is just actively trolling. Damage is good to find a kill. No, it's not Baskin. Misses the ult. It ends up falling down. Fine, okay, trying to find it. No, the ult
Got him! Later!
Death number 12 not coming through
Not
today.
today.
Level 100 Behemoth lives just a little bit longer.
Yep. Still in it. Alec Club still with some fight. Which, man, do I respect the fight they've got. And if Borscht were to somehow go down, I will say contender for most embarrassing loss at this point.
Oh,
and Alec
100%.
Club, I'm sure, know that.
100%.
Which is probably the main thing keeping them going. Pagon gets dropped again by Renown. But Rathnilk with the gigantic pickup onto the Anubis, who's been all the problems. Turns a double kill on Mario Bro. Rathnilk just holding down left click for the triple kill. Lines up Cosmic Vibes. Jumps away to not get picked up, but that movement speed's too much. You got the Sunbeam Bow, but they can't find the autos. Ring around the Rosie. Don't steal it. Gotta give the Sunbeam. Cosmic's still alive. He's still got him. Down goes Cosmic.
Poor man, I'll give it to him. He earned it.
You have to earn that one with the ring around the Sunbeam Bow. Come on.
I still, let me be clear, I still really want Alec Club to win this, but
I've never been so biased as a caster in my
Yeah.
whole life as I now am this game. I'm straight up
100%.
like, get me the T-shirt, you know?
Yep. I am.
Get me
on
the
board.
rally towel.
Yep. I'll paint my face. I'll wear the merch, whatever you need.
We'll be like the
Alec
J
Club.
Dragons fans at Worlds. We'll have the trombones out.
I will go as far as we need to confirm. But at the moment, Borscht finally grouping up. Or what? I mean, actually, they're not. Hagon's going for purple buff. So, and not quite on their mind just yet. Looks like Rat Milk soloing out Pyromancer with the help of the Pew Pew from the Sunbeam Bow. And Baskin is just trying to 1v3 for some reason. And he obviously cannot.
The stasis comes out from Fine OK. That item's so sick. Not enough people buy it in real games. Scepter of Dominion, super cool.
I mean,
Pick it
they're
up in your
cool,
games.
but like, I think if you use them improperly, you can mess up your teammates, and that's where these people avoid it.
Maybe that's why Fine OK bought it. Try to help
wouldn't
out
doubt
Alec
it at this
Club.
point.
Laser,
Bro.
dead Pagon, another kill for Renown on the Pagon. That's been a pretty consistent theme. But Renown is down to 1 HP. That's a big time pickup for Borscht. That's who they've needed to kill this whole game. 13 kills for the Anubis. 1 on the Hecate for Borscht. Fine OK leads them away as the last one over here. Rat Milk just back to base. Alec Club are chasing. I guess they're bored. Will they find it? Probably. Maybe. The jump? Surely you've got damage up. There it is.
This is so embarrassing. Like, Borscht, I really hope they throw this game. Because at a certain point, I get that it's like a flex to get a lot of kills. You know what would have been a flex? A 19-minute dub, which you guys should have had if you just stopped doing this. By the way, this is like, I don't know, man. This is something that like the #1 team does. These guys are 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Like, play with your food
I was
this
thinking the
much.
same thing. This was an elimination set.
Yeah.
This
Play
wasn't
with your
like
food this much when you're up for elimination. is
this
also
wasn't like a
questionable.
team that you're playing against that had a Mickey way into the 2-0 side of the bracket, and you reminded them of who you are before you qualify for playoffs. There's still another week for that to be the case for Borscht.
Yep. But hey, they are making mistakes, and Alec Hate Club is capitalizing on it. So you got to just keep considering that there's a level 20 Anubis in the game. Mario Bro is only getting stronger.
Almost level 20 for level 100 Behemoth.
Yeah. Hey, if you find like Pagon right now, why is he here? Essentially by himself. This could be another pick. I mean, Alec Hate Club has the way back into this game. At one point, it was something like 15K. And now that gold lead is shrinking slowly but surely. Fire Giant should be the call, but again,
Surely.
Pagon's just in the jungle right now, so we'll see where that goes.
So Borscht lose this game. Who's making the phone call to Betty for the new most embarrassing loss? And
I'll do it myself.
Professional Smite history.
I want it broken down. I mean, the fact that level 100 Behemoth might hit level 20 is the most ridiculous thing
yeah,
so
all the
far.
Phoenixes are back up too.
Yep.
And gold's actually getting closer. I mean, we were talking about a 10K gold lead like 20 minutes ago, and we're less than that now. It's at 9K with Fire finally around Borscht. If they troll 1-2 more fights, I mean, we almost have to transition back to treating this more legit because Alec Hate Club's winning chances will be legitimate.
I'll take it one step further. I would say if Alec Hate Club stops this push, this becomes a real game again. If this Fire Giant gets shut down, we are back. But in all fairness, Borscht has every tool imaginable to make sure that does not happen. It would be overwhelming throw for Borscht if they cannot pull Phoenixes here.
Phoenix Siege has begun. Will there be a step up? Open the gates. Not going to find anybody. Jingwei's safe for the time being. No, Phoenix is taken. And Borscht, again, I mean, they have a 2-3 split. It's not feeling clean. Final K takes the portal in. Can't find the Ragnarok. Damage coming out from Alec Club in the defense. They might find a pick here, and they do. Pagon's gone. Another ton, another kill. That's on the Final K. Ratdog looking to turn it around, but Renown gets that. It might be a deicide. Oh my God, Borscht get blown up at the Phoenix. Look what you've done. You played with your food too long.
Has arrived.
Well, Panda Cat does get to live. That's a big deal because if it's a full wipe, They're just running down mid. But Hecate lives to fight another day. Mid Phoenix has dropped. And they did get the 1 pick. So it was not a complete wash. This still did go well for Borscht, all things considered. But there are still 3 tier 1 towers, Malum. 3 of them. That's all of them. Alec Hey Club has not been in a position to group up and push since
I imagine they're
3 minutes in
confused
the game.
almost, you know? Like, they've got to be. Like, what are we supposed... Like, I would imagine the comms are, all right, we've got the whole map to traverse through now. How are we getting the ring into the fiery mountain at this point? Where's the map on how to do this? I mean, you almost need another deicide. The pick on Panda Cat possible. Open gates and beats that will send Glosh away from the Hecate, but the chase still on. They might find this pick before backup gets here, but you can't get too low because you've got that Thanatos nearby. But Alec Club are all inning for the kill on the Panda Cat. Rat Milk ultimate down when they find a pick. Rat Milk's dead! Went down to Renown, who did fall, and Pagon will find a double kill onto Behemoth. The knockup from Cosmic Vibes brings him closer, and it's a triple kill for Pagon. And Mario Bro and Losh will look to back up to base. Borscht find a big time moment in the duo lane that, shockingly enough, they needed to not lose this game.
I think, I mean, this should be it. Pagon, for some reason, is on the right side of the map. 37 seconds without Bacchus. 25 seconds without Anubis.
You got Hecate in mid?
I mean, I think you group up and push down left, but again, I don't hate the idea of pushing everything up. But when you're this split, it just gives reason to find another pick. I mean, that has been the case time and time again. The whole team of Borscht has split up, and picks have been found time and time again. Diva comes through. They gone over and right. The rest of the squad spread out between mid and left lane. Everyone is here but Cosmic Vibes, and Bacchus spawns in 2 seconds. This is a risky push because Borscht with fire on 5 were not able to make this work. So yeah, I understand the call to back up. Start looking towards an Ancient Fury. Definitely help out. I would say Ancient Fury and another Fire Giant is the nail in the coffin. That's unthrowable if you are Borscht, because you shut down the Phoenixes, you make them attack half as quick and do like way less damage.
Team has destroyed the Pyromancer.
And you already have mid bird down. It should be unmess-upable for Borscht. But they have shown that they can defy all logic.
You know what I was thinking about too? The 3K pots that are going to start coming in line for Alec Club. Because Borscht, their gold lead has been the same for a long time, so I'm sure they've had it. But Alec Club has been growing and growing and growing. Renown's probably sitting on one at this point already. That's a lot of damage in pocket. It is a little risky though. Queen Naga pulled. Final K will be aware. You've got Baskin nearby. Rat Milk within an ult's distance, but Final K is already dead to Renown on that Anubis. So that's a pick with fire around the corner. It feels like Borscht is still playing like it was 15 minutes ago.
And now they're just split. Like, look, Baskin's over and left, Rat Milk's over and right. Panda and Pagon are together. I mean, we'll see if another pick can come through. Again, it's all going to be off the back of Renown. He does tons of damage. Ult comes in. Immediately, Rat Milk has to respect it. Goes to the sky.
It's pretty big.
And goes to retreat. Mid Phoenix is under threat, so Mario Bro has to go back to base and fly in to defend it because Baskin has abandoned his team and just started split pushing. Honestly, I don't blame him at this point, just trying to find any sort of action. Does do a ton of damage. Remember, if it's just Mario Bro, could be a problem, but with Athena in the back, would not be that terrible of a look. I mean, I think Athena taunt into death is available for just about anyone. It's not as if Final K's tanky. He kind of pivoted just to a bunch of HP and some penetration.
I was going to say, that's another punishing point, too, is you pivoted so much, and Pagon caught in mid and dead. The shutdown goes to Cosmic Vibes. That's another pick. Baskin takes the 1v5 with Dazzling Offensive. Will Baskin go down too? Yes! The blink from Rat Milk. He can't find the kill on Athena. Now he's in front of everybody and won't even get the ult off. Renown kills Rat Milk. Are you kidding me?
No, they are not. This may be the first tier 1 tower of the game for Alec. Hate Club can find keep it alive. Oh my goodness, the answer is no, Malum. Finally, a structure has dropped for Borscht. Fire Giant is the target. Fire
my
Giant
God.
is here. And only 2 members of Borscht are left to defend. Can Final K go in for the steal? Remember, Sunder is available. Runic Bomb, not available for anyone. Getting low. Can the Fenrir get close? It doesn't seem like it. I don't think he can get there. They get it.
The Ragnarok came out, but didn't even get close to it. That's Fire Giant for Alec Club. Believers, rise up. If you voted on Alec Club in the Twitch chat, potentially rise up. You could be making payday. This is now absolutely in favor of Alec Club. Because one thing you pointed out, Trelly, Borscht used so much gold for fun stuff. Ratmilk had to sell the Sunbeam Bow. Fino K's been restructuring the build moment by moment.
Middle enemy tower.
This is somehow so ideal for Alec Club despite everything up to this point.
I mean, hey, I alluded to it in P's and B's. Like, if we're talking about late game potential, the Jingwei and the Anubis are just better. I will say, if Final K was a bit tankier and Baskin was a bit tankier, I think that would have helped, and Final K is working towards that. But Renown can kill just about anyone on the map now. Like,
100%.
One taunt, and you're gone. Like, that is truthfully how this works.
And no
Pagon,
talisman.
Pagon hasn't been in the right place, I would argue, for the entirety of this set. Like, he is always just in the wrong spot. Currently, he's not. Right now, he is next to a tank. That is the right place to chill. But for now, Borscht seems to be trying to lock in here. This, by all means, is not an even game yet. I mean, Alec Club still has some itemization to catch up on the 3K pots you've been talking about. But I would say the next time we see a 5v5, I'm going to be leaning a little bit more towards Alec Club. I'm saying like 51-49 Alec Club the next time we see a true 5v5.
And there's really no tanks on Borscht at all. There's no talisman of purification that we've seen become a mainstay of the scene, into the Athena that you keep mentioning, and into the Bacchus for that matter. If you get CC'd, you're just simply dead. There's nobody to survive that CC. This is a great spot to be in for Alec Club. And there's a tier 2 to Alec Club. Every time I'm seeing it, I'm surprised. Watch that mid lane. Baskin on the split push, but will now back. Alec Club aware. They send forward the Mordred. They're looking for the fight. Open the gates used. Final K jumping in. A Ragnarok to find one. This could be the turning point back for Borscht. They threw it so far. Can they clean it up? There's a shutdown. There's another. But Mario Bros standing strong, trying to throw hands for the rest of the team. But they've fallen at the finish line. Borscht lock in at the last moment for the deicide.
Finally, Borscht decided to actually fight as a true 5v5. That's probably the first one we have seen since what? 14 minutes? Like, it has been a minute, but
wow,
that was going to be the nail in the coffin. Minions were already pushed up here by Baskin. They have all the damage in the world, you would think. But
Phoenix is under attack.
what? Is Pagon going for Pyro?
They can't, I mean, they've got still 25 seconds to play with, but they cannot slow down. You have to go.
Did he want a runic bomb for the end?
There's no minion wave for the...
This game is over. Why is Pagon not here?
One minion wave, ultimate's out. Panda Cat's dead to the Titan.
They got it.
I've never been so upset to talk about a team winning, but Borscht will take this set 2-0. Alec Club go down and go to the last chance qualifier.
I mean, hey,
Where's my stress ball?
They won.
I got the stress ball now.
I have nothing of the sort. I just have, my temples to rub.
Yeah. At least we get a tiny break after this to recuperate.
I mean, hey, like, listen, Borscht played 16 minutes of a dominant game, and then they trolled to make it almost 40. So
yeah.
Hey, props to Alec
and
Club.
Alec Club are fighters.
Yeah, they stuck in it. They, I mean, man, talk about level 100 behemoth, level 10, 0-12, and somehow made it to full build. That felt good. That definitely felt good. But, Borscht had the lead. All they had to do was lock in for one fight, and they did just that.
Oh, yeah, that's a Borscht victory for sure. Alec Club, though, I'm going to keep giving them credit because it would have been very easy to just, I mean, we even saw it at one point or another. We saw Behemoth kind of stop walking. We saw Mario Bros stand, have a couple funny jumps. It'd be really easy as a team to let those moments go and say, all right, we're done. And this game could have been 20 minutes. but you stood, you kept throwing. They even saw their moments back in, and they made great decisions. Again, it's off of the back of Borscht trolling, but you can't deny the good decisions from Alec Club, and they're not eliminated from the Founder Series.
Right.
They now go to the last chance qualifier, and my goodness, if two things are true in my brain: Alec Club, now a lore accurate name, and if you've ever seen a team with a chip on their shoulder, it's going to be Alec Club.
Yep. And hey, I think probably learned a lot from this game as well, and that's something that's important. If you are going to be dropping down into that group stage and you don't get your free ride over towards playoffs, you do have to consider, this was a stomp for 90% of it, or let's go 75% of it, and then it started, bouncing back. So a lot of that can be used later on, but still, it's not as if the flaws in Alec Club's draft were not exploited here. They did not have the early pressure to try and get this Anubis and Jingwei to late, and that's why that gold lead rose to something like 20,000. Slowly dropped back, but that was in kind of all fault of Borscht, right?
Yeah. No, you can't deny that one. Renown, what a legacy performance, and for that matter, honestly, I'm gonna say level 100 Behemoth. What a rock solid mental you have to actually end that game with a kill on the Athena and still hit some of the great taunts we saw. Come on, Mario Bro, even at all times, auto's on, never got lazy with it. A few really good airstrikes. It's unique in a situation like this. It feels more like what I'm accustomed to in the community scene of you're talking up the team that went home. But in this scenario, AHC Club, man, like AHC all the way. I'm a believer. Count me in for hoping they make it through the LCQ and we get to see them again in the future, because they definitely at least earned that respect of being watched. And Borscht, they move on. I'm going to have the most critical, scrutinizing eye on them going forward in the Founder Series.
And who on Alec Club is Alec?
Cosmic Vibes.
Okay, I was gonna say if I join the Alec Club, like, as a fan, I don't hate Cosmic Vibes though. Like, I don't.
He's such a nice guy too. My highlight of Alec and who's Cosmic Vibes. One time at Draft League in the amateur scene, we were doing the draft for players. He showed up on camera, suit and tie, headset on, like it was an NFL draft room giving us his drafts. It was second to none, but that was the game we had. Let's take a look at bracket, get ourselves resituated. You know the drill. There's the bracket, and you can see that we just saw Borscht versus Alec Club. Borscht take the victory. They will move to the 2-2 side. Same thing with Mr. Play-by-Play, taking the win over Employment LARPers. And for both Alec Club and Employment LARPers, they go down to the last chance qualifier. We got Baking Soda and Look Within in that 1-2 side. And coming up at 5 o'clock, we've got Scrumptious versus Garf's Goblins. And right on time, we have a schedule to show exactly that. Again, you just saw the 3 o'clock matchup, Alec Club versus Borscht. 5 o'clock, Scrumptious versus Garf's Goblins. If there's ever a time that we've been set up for funky, weird games, maybe even an upset, Trelly, it's definitely today. There's something in the air.
Absolutely. And this was a set that I alluded to. Could be, sneaky close. I've been really impressed with how Garf's Goblins have been looking. Scrumptious has locked in, though. That's something I noticed as well. The fact that once they took their L, they kind of, dialed it back. They've been playing a lot cleaner brand of Smite. So definitely a matchup you do not want to miss.
You really don't. I'll be watching that one closely with you, Trelly. We'll be looking for the small things. I feel like we talk about synergy, chemistry. We talk about growth throughout the tournament. We named all those things at the beginning of the Swiss bracket. We're getting later and later. It's now time to see how much have players like Sunprod improved. How much have players like Lord Garfield, formerly known as Super Death Thing, where are they at in terms of their team play, in terms of their single mechanical skill? Scrumptious is their test, and if you can do that, I think they instantly emerge as a team to take almost as serious, if not just as serious, as like a food drive for Globe.
Absolutely. And I mean, again, we got to chill for a bit before that matchup starts, but I'm gonna be waiting at my seat, getting hyped for it for sure.
Well, we are ready for that break, so take some time, take a breather. When we come back, we've got Scrumptious, we've got Garf's Goblins, we've got War Anthony Squared. We'll see you when we get back from break at 5 o'clock.